Hi, Anthony?
Yes, sir.
Robert calling you from Body Mechanics Collision Repair.
Yes, sir.
Just make sure you know I didn't tell you in advance, but this all my calls are recorded here, so you know. Um,
Okay.
my lines are recorded for quality assurance. So, anyways, wanted to make sure I tell you that before I called you. So, anyways, I'm calling on a vehicle for Angelo Blackman. Do you know that?
Angela Blackman.
Correct. The son.
Uh,
Do you
oh, the
have?
son. Okay. Yes.
Yes. Very good. And he's got a deal. You guys put an engine in the car or something like this, and he got the heater on full blast. He's getting cold air, and the vehicle is overheating. Had a new engine in, supposedly a new water pump, and there's no circulation. So I'm thinking, did you vacuum the system before you filled it with coolant?
I'm trying to figure out about that because we put the engine in Friday. The only problem he had was with the water pump was making a noise, so we put a water pump on there for him. So I don't know about the other stuff you're talking about. We put an engine in there. We didn't put a new water pump on there because he said he couldn't afford a new water pump. So I'm just trying to help him out. I told him the one that would come off his engine, it's like it's better than the one that come on the used engine. So we
So
swapped it
you
out for him.
inspected the part though. So the pump was functional. The blades weren't broken. Did it have a
No, nothing like
plastic
that.
propeller or a metal propeller on it?
It had a metal.
Okay, so those are good ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and you put a new gasket on it.
Yeah. He
So the problem has to be in the fuel in the circulation. It has to be an air bubble. You understand that, right?
Well, what I'm saying is he drove the car all weekend. He didn't have a problem. He just had a problem with the roaring noise. So I'm helping him. I don't understand what this call was about because when he came in, they had an air bubble. Some fluid did go on the ground, but it had an air bubble in it.
He's
So once
calling
he
me
come
for
out,
circulation, and the heater's not working,
oh
and the car is overheating. That's the reason why he's calling me, and he doesn't know what to
no,
do. And I told him, I said, from mechanic to mechanic, let me call this man up
God.
because we're all in the same trade, and we all
Yeah.
make fucking mistakes along the way, and we
Oh
all try to
yeah.
fucking help everybody out, and no good deed goes unpunished. And I said, I know you. I know you. I said, I know you're trying to save a buck, and I know these guys are trying to help you out, and I'm sure there's something going on somewhere. I'm sure they're not trying to fuck you, and I'm sure if there's
No,
some kind of little mistake that they made, which I make mistakes, I said, I'm sure they're going to stand behind it. Hey, tell me this. Would you mind if he was to bring the car back to you, if you would check it out and make sure that everything's functioning properly?
well, who's? I got the. Is this the one with the handicap van?
Yes. Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
in a
I mean,
wheelchair.
yeah, but the car is with me.
You
I
have
told
it
him to
there
bring
right
it back.
now.
Yeah,
Okay, so
the
he
car.
called me this morning. So I cut him off so quick. I don't know the details. I just wanted to talk to the shop owner because I'm a shop owner,
Oh,
and I've known him since he was 12 years old.
yes,
So
sir.
I know him. Okay, and I know his life circumstance. He's a good man.
Oh
He's
yeah.
been through a lot of shit. He had a football injury. He's just been through a
Oh
lot.
wow. I
And
understand.
that's why he ended up in a wheelchair. You know, he was a star football player,
I didn't
and
know that.
he was going to be a major league football player
I
before
understand.
this accident. And he's just you know, he didn't grow up with like maybe you and I might have grown up. You know what I mean? With
Yes, sir.
mentors that kind of guided us
Right.
to work our asses off so that we could have a little something more in life. Would
That's
you
right.
do me a solid, man, and check his
Yeah.
van out for him and see what you can do and call me with whatever you come up with, and then I'll relay
Okay.
it to him.
Yes, sir. Like I said, here's the deal. We put the engine in. The engine come in late, and he had in the scenario behind it. He was scheduled for like a week beforehand. You know what I mean? But I told him, I said, well, we have to have funds, in order to get started. He
Of
said
course.
he didn't have the funds to get
Yep.
started. So I said, well, man, I don't know you. You don't know me. I said, like that. But at the end of the day, some people will come in. Oh yeah, go ahead on do this here, and then I go slink, $5,000-$6,000 into something, and next thing you know. You tell me, oh, never mind, I found somebody to do it for me. Now I got to try to figure out how to get the engine back and do this and
Tell
do
me
that.
about
So
it.
So I told him I don't do that anymore. It has
Yeah.
to have a deposit.
Yep.
So when he come in, and he
I'm
got
suing a
deposit,
customer right now for $3,600. I'd never sued a customer in my entire life.
Yes,
And I am
sir. Yes,
suing
sir.
a customer as we speak because of this very issue.
Yeah, and like I said, he came in. I said, well, man, look, this shop generates customers every day. I said, but since I have talked to you, I said I'm gonna get you in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So once we did it, we got him in. We got the engine, and we swapped everything out. And for some reason, the engine that we got in his engine, the starter was different. It's an inboard and an outboard starter, whatever they were talking about. I wasn't aware of that at the time. But the starter, we wanted to end up changing the taking the engine back out and changing the flywheel to be able to do that. And then I was like, well, we have this other starter in stock, so I'm gonna call them and see can we get it. And I bought the starter for him. I said, hey man, I'm not gonna charge you no extra. I'm just trying to get you out of here.
Yeah.
So I went in my pocket and bought the starter, put it on there. Everything worked fine. So okay, I said well, that's where we had that. He left, and we didn't get a chance to test or to do anything because we left that late Friday night. He called me Saturday. And,
No good luck ever comes from rushing the job out on Friday night.
Exactly.
I piss off more customers for making them wait, but I make them wait, baby.
Yeah, and then I should. I was just trying to, go ahead and get them and stuff. And I'm telling him, I said, man, I haven't had a chance to test it. So all we did was just crank it. You know what I mean? We cranked up and we pulled it out and then you took off. He came back. He said, hey, man, I got some issues. We'll talk about it tomorrow. And I said, okay. I said, well, that's fine. I said, well, man, I don't work weekends, but I said, I'm going to come to the shop at 9 o'clock. I said, you can meet me there at 10. I said, you meet me there at 10 and then, we'll look at it. Well, I stayed to about 1,
Jesus.
1, right at 2. He didn't come.
Jesus.
So I was like, okay. So then so I left. I had other engagements, prior, things I had.
No, I get it. I get it.
With my family. But one of my guys was here working, and he looked at the van, and he was, seen it, and then just saw that, it just had air at the deal, you know what I mean, topped it back off, and he drove it. All right, now, my guy, he didn't snap the O2 sensor in, the plug-in. The connector was there, but he didn't have it snapped in. That's where the engine light was on because of that. I got there, because I told him that I will be back Sunday, and I look at it, so much I looked at it yesterday. I popped it back in. I said, drive it and see. And the truck was driving fine. We rode together. We did this, did that. And he said, man, you heard a little noise? I said, man, that noise sound like a water pump noise. And he was like, and I was like, well, man, I said, I tell you what I'll do. I said, you get the water pump? I said, you spend some money with me. I said, I'll go to put the water pump in there so you can go come in. He was like, well, man, I don't, all I have enough money to do is to get back home.
So we went over this already. So we talked about this to begin with. A water pump, as you know, as a mechanic, and I'm a mechanic, is a very, very simple processing machine. It's a housing, it's a bearing, it's a shaft, a pulley, and a turbine.
That's right.
There you go. And it's got a metal turbine on it, so it's not broken. And we always know as mechanics that that's what happens is the plastic turbine shatters into a million pieces, and now you're not moving water. So we know it's moving water because the belt's connected, the shaft is metal, and the prop is metal. So we know it's moving water 100%. Will you do me a solid? Will you drain the coolant from that vehicle, pull a vacuum on it, photograph the vacuum gauge on it, and then vacuum fill it? Pour the coolant into a 5-gallon bucket or whatnot, pull a vacuum on it and vacuum fill the vehicle, and then check this cooling system again?
I will. I'll do it.
And then give me a call.
I will.
Thank you much.
Yeah.
Bye.